guys, you're welcome on board to this wonderful IG live session. Wow, always on time. You're welcome on board, sir. Okay, while we're waiting for others to connect, if it's possible, Blackie, please can you just try to intimate your friends? Just a quick reminder so they can all come on board. Hello, if you can hear me, just signify, maybe with a thumbs up. I need to know if you can hear me. Okay. John Eso, you're welcome. Tower Project, you're welcome. Mohabab, you're welcome. Please, let's just try to intimate our friends out there. We have been anticipating, and I bet quite a number of us are all super excited about today's Polkia Talk series. So let me get thumbs up if everything is okay from your end. If I can be heard loud and clear, maybe I can get a comment loud and clear. I've been getting some thumbs up though. Okay, great. Okay. Say in the next 1 minute, we should kick things off. Okay, thank you very much for the response. Okay. Dana Rick Group, you're welcome. Please, let's just try to intimate others. Okay, let's try to send a reminder to our colleagues out there. And this is for us, so there's no point in we not maximizing the opportunity. I bet quite a lot of us that will be a part of this session, or subsequently maybe those that will miss and still watch, I believe this session would actually initiate something that would bring about a turnaround in how we perceive architecture and how we approach architecture and how we carve a niche for ourselves. Yeah. Okay, iBooksin, you're welcome. Ade Bize. Oh my god, there are some interesting names. Yeah. A lot photo fan, you're welcome. Simply Emmanuel. Yeah, I know I cannot mention everyone's name though. Alright, so 4 minutes on the dot. You're moving. Yes. Someone asking me a question. I want to respond to that question yet. Alright. So today's Nexus series, or I would call it, talks about business, design, and technology. Yes, business, design, and technology. And what brought about this is the fact that we have been looking at how a total balance can be brought about as regards these three things. In Nigeria, considering the Nigerian context, we have, to an extent, based on our own little research as a group, Team Polkia, we have discovered that oftentimes there isn't a general balance as regards these three. And those that have been able to an extent strike a balance are those that are actually thriving in this dispensation. And it's not good enough. And if you're looking at seeing how well we can reform the practice of architecture in Nigeria, if you're looking at how we can help reshape how architecture will be in the country, it's good. Those of us that the spotlight will be on at some point in time, it's good we develop a new mindset. And how do we get to develop this new mindset? We get to engage in forums like this. We get to engage in sessions like this that will help to an extent fine-tune our perception and moral values as regards the practice of architecture. So basically that's it. And also today's session is really gonna be great. Really gonna be great. Really gonna be great, I must confess, because we have one person that has always motivated us. Yes, if Tim Porkia is standing today, I can boldly say that it's because we had people like this ahead of us, doing amazing things. And it's a good thing to see people doing tremendous things ahead. It kind of like, to an extent, motivates some of those that are behind. So, and I consider this personality a great personality, that the practice of architecture in Nigeria, architects precisely in Nigeria, young architects in Nigeria, we can't, but appreciate. He has imparted us directly, indirectly, in his own capacity. Yes, and this is someone that has been credible. If you hear creative architects, you need to talk about the brains behind some things. This is one icon and a force to reckon with, as far as I am concerned, and I know the team is concerned. Sir, I don't know if you can send in a request so we can bring you up on board before I start talking about the profile. I'd like to have you on board and say all these things while you're here. I want to see your expression though. Okay, sir. It's good to have you. Hi, sir. How are you doing, sir? All right, so
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm doing good, sir. I'm doing good, sir. So it's good to have you on board, and I believe quite a lot of people are super excited to be a part of this session. Nigeria. One amazing thing about us is African time. I don't know what we take away African time, but they're coming on board too.
They're coming.
Okay, so without wasting much time, let me just give a brief profile download of our personality, our guest. Yes, Hassan Anifowose is a serial entrepreneur, architect, and PhD student at Texas A&M University, researching BIM and new technological improved tools to aid project performance in the design and construction industry. He's the co-founder at Chronos Stores, Chronos Stores, and PrintMyDrawings. He has since founding Chronos Studio been an active contributor to the visualization industry in Nigeria on a large scale. His work, SOHO Living for Urban Professionals, made it to the second stage of the World Architecture News Awards in December 2012. That is just a tip of the iceberg amongst many. I remember the first time I met with architect Hassan. I know he would not recollect anyway. He was
I probably don't.
Yes. Yes, and there were lots of things that I saw. I learned indirectly, his enthusiasm. He was willing to listen, although he was busy, but the heart was there. Like, okay.
Sounds like a typical thing.
Yes. And this man is vast. Yes, when you're talking about someone being knowledgeable, we are just inspired by you generally. You know, he knows a bit of everything, and that is how, you know, architects should be. You should be here and there. You don't have to have a full know-how on everything, but you should just have some little. No, architect Hassan is a gamer. Would you believe that? Oh, so you know,
Yeah, I'm hoping someday I'll be streaming online with my squad or something
wow,
and get you
wow,
guys
wow.
to watch. Yeah, it would be cool.
We'd love to see that. We'd love to see that. Okay, so I think I've given a heads up about what we will be talking about today. So we're looking at business, design, and technology, and we're looking at how we can strike a balance amidst these three. It's a lot to talk about, but as time might be a constraint, but you know, the little we can, you know, talk about, we'll try as much as possible to, you know, throw in more light and ensure that we clear all doubts as regards some of these questions. All right, sir. Chronos Studios. I think it would be good for those that are looking at, you know, starting up something to even hear about how this whole vision came into existence. Briefly, I know it's a lot. I've had you give the full breakdown to an extent, so I know it's a lot, but just a brief about how Chronos started, sir.
Okay, so thanks very much, Tosin, for that introduction. Even though I don't know who you just introduced, I'm just a simple person. I'm just like every other person. So I'm happy to be here with you guys, and thanks for coming. I see everyone joining in. I want to say a big thank you for coming. We're gonna keep this, you know, very sharp and sweet and, you know, compact. So there's a story behind Chronos. There's a story within the story, and even inside that there's another story. So, but one major one that I can share with you guys was back in 2007. Myself and two other friends, you know, we were sitting inside our bedrooms and we're just having a conversation about how difficult it was for an everyday client to understand an architect's drawings. And we're like, okay, well, why don't we step out and try to start enabling people, architects, to be able to interpret their drawings better to the layman person by offering them 3D visualization services. So we started, and one funny thing, I'm going to tell you one funny thing. So we stepped in and we started, like, you know, helping them do all of these things. I remember one of the projects we worked with then was the Federal High Court in Abuja, which if a lot of you are, you know, conversant with, is in Maitama. That building was just the way we did the visualization. Like, if you go there today and put it side by side, it's like the same. So we were like, oh yeah, we stand a chance to, like, you know, fill in the industry. And then we went ahead and spent all our money, you know. In 2007, we spent all our money trying to print brochures and proposals and everything. And then we took them to companies and we went out. And guess what? 1 year later, not a single person called us back. and we're like, what was it that we were doing wrong? But guess what we're doing wrong? We didn't follow up. We expected them to call us back because we felt that if we offered something really good, they should know and they should call us back. But you know, they never called back. But I mean, that was far back as 2007. And then, you know, over the years, you know, I got employed, I got jobs in other places. And then in 2012, after my master's, we came back fully and we started, you know, pushing things real hard. So that's just, you know, the background story of Chronos. Technically, we just, you know, came together and we're like, okay, we need to solve a problem in the industry. And that was, you know, that was how we started. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much for that. It's so direct. I don't think I need to see anything extra. You know, there was a need, and follow-up very important. And one thing is, what you just said now complements something Sujimoto told me. If anyone knows Sujimoto told me something that if you're loaded, you'll be needed. But now, aside being loaded, you also need to do some follow-up, because at times these people
you need to step out. Yeah, you need to step out.
Yeah. All right, so now we need to just focus on our context. Yes, Nigeria factor, we have quite a lot of problems in the country. Yes. So I want to push this to you, sir. considering rather the present economic problems, that is the poor academic system, lack of skilled professionals, little or no passion for architecture. It's just all about the money. Where does the practice of architecture stand in this our present dispensation?
So I'll say you just presented me with a trio-headed problem. And I think we can look at it from three perspectives. The first being the academic perspective, the second being the education and economic level, academic, economic conditions, and then the last being the practice and the professional practice side. So if we start talking about education, basically, there was a quote that I saw recently that says, if you take education from a country, they start to die, right? I'm speaking my own opinion now, so don't quote me. But I think Nigeria has a long way to go when it comes to education, in the sense that the average Nigerian mind is already impoverished. We're looking for how to survive more than how to learn. So technically, I'll tell people, if we increase the budget for education, if you increase the budget for quality of living, then the money for education will be well spent. But if you don't increase the budget for the quality of living and you put money on education, people are going to spend that money trying to survive. So the big guys up there still have a lot to do when it comes to putting a lot of fund into the education system. And then gradually, everyone's minds can change and grow and get better towards what we're all trying to achieve. And if we now look at the economic condition, a lot of people are trying to get by, trying to just survive, trying to get the little they can get to get past, get to the next day. And there's been an kind of influx of people trying to be something which they are not officially trained to become. So we hear people's engineers saying, "Oh, we can do your designs," and things like that. But in the real sense, they are offering that service for cheaper. And if you look at the economic pocket of people, they're tending to want to go that way because they don't want to pay so much for an architect, right? So the problem is double-sided, and I think this is where the professional bodies come in, because I know that there have been efforts recently, they've been pushing, but I think the profession really needs to be rebranded very much. There's been some NIA initiatives and campaigns about every building has an architect, and I think that's very commendable. And I think there's still so much work to be done in sensitizing the public about how important an architect is. So not just an engineer saying, "I can do your design." For real, you're going to get into trouble. But if the economic gain is a lot, going to be way less than half the price that I was going to pay an architect, then I might as well say, let him do it, right? But in the real sense, it's wrong. Because the price you're going to pay eventually is going to be more. So there is a lot of things to be balanced in that regard. And then if we're looking at the professional point of view, I think there is some kind of disconnect in a lot of places, and everyone is trying to be an island. So let me give you an example. So these same engineers that are saying that I can be an architect, things like that. So why don't we come together and be a conglomerate of services, so to speak? Or why don't we as architects come together and offer really, really beneficial services at the least economic prices or the best economic prices to this public? But in essence, we're still together. Groups and bodies need to be well bonded. And I think another thing we need to look at is young graduates trying to get into the industry just off the bat. I've graduated today, I can become an architect and I can render services tomorrow. Typically, so someone said, I like your recent Myths and Facts trend about architects and the practice. Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to push, some knowledge to the public about architects. So some architects, just graduate and then they go, I think I can offer my services now, but in the real sense, they've not undergone any kind of tutelage. And for me, that's a big deal. That makes a very big difference. And I think a tutelage experience is not something any architect should pass up on. It's absolutely important. So I'll tell people, to find a job, find a mentor, find a boss, just find something and learn, because you have to pay the dues. You have to pay the dues. It may be tough, but eventually it will pay off, because the knowledge you're going to get is going to be hugely important, in that career. And eventually, when you're ready to start to offer these services that you feel so confident to offer, you are in a much better place to be. So basically, looking at the academic, from the academic perspective, from the economic perspective, and then from the professional practice itself, and people actually learning the rudiment of the profession, before jumping on the road. Trust me, it is going to be some experience you cannot do without. It still said tutelage cannot be swept under the carpet, for real. Trust me, guys. Something that also jumps at me is lately, a lot of females, a lot of women in the profession are tending to be inclined towards interior design, and I think that is kind of limiting, in the sense that even though we understand that interior design is more emotional, that's where the female folks really trend, unlike the engineering or architectural design, hardscapes and stuff, structures, that the male folks are more dominant. I still believe there are really good female architects who are, like, excuse my language, badass, and if we have more of those, I think it will be quite interesting. I know a couple of female badass architects that are really good at what they're doing. Trust me, like you see them and you're like, wow. Yeah. So one thing I would like also to chime in on that is, in terms of the profession, it's starting to tend to look like a male-dominated environment. But if we push the females up to step up to the game, I think we can have a considerably balanced profession, and I think it's going to be better for everyone. So let's look at the future and see, like, a lot of our women stepping up to the plate. A lot of our women in the top places, a lot of our women running big corporations and firms, and sitting at the board, making political decisions, and that's how it should be. So so women should not shy towards only interior design, but actually, like, if you studied to practice architecture, we want to see you step into the arena and let's have a conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you so much for the answer, sir. Okay. So we have loads of questions here. All right.
Bring it on.
The reason why we had to ask the first question about the problems, we needed to establish the fact that, okay, there's a problem, and don't forget the team. The team is thriving as an architect, as a young architect, to be precise. So now there are problems. We know there are problems. But now, if we want to focus on one major problem that can bring about a turnaround, I think I'll push the question directly. The major problem in the architecture industry that requires serious attention, with rather than just answering, how can we also make moves and efforts towards resolving it? I don't know if you got the hang of my question, sir.
So what's the problem? Let me get what you're talking about.
Major problem. We've been able to establish problems.
Okay.
Yes. And you also preferred solutions to which we could help contain those problems as architects and young minds. But now the major problem in the architecture industry, from your own perception anyway, the major problem in the architecture industry that requires serious attention, and how we can make moves and efforts towards resolving it. So.
Okay, again, nobody should quote me, but this is just an Instagram live session. I think there's a big gap in what people think when it comes to like business, or when it comes to like business and architecture. A lot of us, like, I can guarantee you. So when we leave university, we are able to design. We're able to come up with the most fantastic buildings. Like only myself, I get a task where I, like, get to design an entire stadium, or yourself, working on a huge health facility. So we have all of those skills. We have all of those fantastic skills. But some of the things that we're lacking and are not totally embedded in our education system could be understanding how the business of architecture works. So you are hardly taught how to get paid. People get learning how to design, learning details, but you never learn how to get paid. And I don't know if there's any university in the country that has that in their curriculum. I'm struggling to pinpoint any. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know they teach the practice of architecture, actually. Like, there's in the final stages of your architecture education course, you learn about the practice, not just design, you learn about the practice itself. But they still don't talk about money. They still don't talk about money. And I think that's a huge problem for a lot of architects. It's highly important to start letting architects understand that you're not only going to be hired based on your design skills, but how you step up to the plate. How you step up to the plate. How that's what's going to help you, thrive and succeed. It could be as simple as networking, serving communities, delivering great service. But it's not only your ability to design. It's not only your ability to design. I'm running, so I'm studying about budgeting currently in a George Bush school, and I'm studying about budgeting. And trust me, with all my years of experience, with business, I still feel like a child learning how to walk. I can say 99%. You can quote me on this one. Someone said they will quote me. Let me read that up. Someone said they were going to quote me. Who was that? Someone dropped it. Official ID said he was going to quote me. So you can quote me on this one. 99% of architects are not prepared for business and financials. Yeah, you can quote me on that one now. And I think someone also said they don't talk about money. Tower Project said the business of architecture. Oladipo Tolu said they never talk about money. Trust me, I think we need to start having that conversation about money, because it's going to go a long way in helping people to strategically position themselves based on their skills, based on their abilities, and based on everything they're able to offer and put on the table, getting paid, right? Yeah, and not just leaving all of that to learning it when you get into the industry. Why can't we learn it in the school? If we didn't learn how to design in getting into the industry, we learned that in school. Why can't we learn money in school, right? So Henry Igugu says there needs to be lessons on negotiation, financial management, soft skills. Real Arista is a larger percentage. Yeah, like I said, 99% out of 100 architects, 99 of them are not ready for financials and budgeting. You can trust me on that. You can quote me on that. Yeah. So, yeah, architecture says, yeah, quote, yeah, just quote that. Yeah, I said that 99% of architects are not ready for financials, and business, business budgeting and things like that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you've been able to establish that. But now, how do we pick things up such that, okay, those of us that we have escaped, will I say escape now? Okay, we were not taught, and now we have to survive. We have to try. How do we pick up things?
Okay, so there is a saying that goes like, you're not, you're paid. Okay, so you're paid according to the size of the problem you're solving, right? If you're solving a big problem, you get a big pay. Solving a small problem is small money. And I think understanding the value that you're bringing to the table is very important. And I'm saying this. So Shaya Biodun said negotiation, financial management can be best taught by someone who is in the practice. Yeah, so let the universities get people who are in the practice to come into the schools and teach people, right? Jude said, I guess they don't teach money elsewhere either, even in MBAs. But well, even if it's a little idea, just a hint. So let's talk about the value that you're bringing to the table. And one thing I was going to say is, like, so there are deals and there are deals. Some deals are going to favor you. Some deals are going to, like, you're just going to fail. It's going to be a complete loss. But one thing is important, and that thing is lessons, right? Lessons that you're learning. So I'm just going to paint, like, maybe one or two scenarios. So let's say you're someone looking for employment. You're a graduate architect. You have these fantastic skills. You're good. You're awesome. You can work really hard and things like that. You're going to end up having to negotiate some kind of pricing or some kind of salary or some kind of project fees at some point. One thing I would advise us all to think about is not approaching all these opportunities with a mindset of, this is the one that's going to buy me a Bentley, or this is the one that's going to buy me a Rolls Royce. Sometimes you have to approach them with this mindset of, I want to use this to gain some traction. I want to work with this person because I need to get to this level. I want to have this mentor because I want to get to this level. So it doesn't always boil down to the money. The money is always a plus, but because you have to also keep your eyes on the bills. So for example, you're gonna have bills to pay, right? You're gonna have expenses to catch up with. And so it's important that you have the money conversations, but at the same time, you're gonna have to end up in some negotiations that will not put you in a very good position. But at the same time, if you think about it from the point of, I want to use this to gain traction, then you're going to win. So that's just my general advice to, like, every young architect out there, someone starting out there, say you want to step into the industry. It's not always about the money. If you put your mindset at being able to gain some traction, then you are going to win eventually, even if you're not going to get a lot of money from it. And of course, some jobs are going to get you some money. Some employment positions are going to get you some good money. Some contracts are going to get you some good money. But always look at it from the point of traction. I want to use this to get to the next level. I think that's something that is very important and people should always think about.
Okay. Thank you very much. The next question, that is really big. It's something that we young architects generally, personally, I have a problem with that. Power of negotiation. Yes, power of negotiation. It's always quite difficult for architects to negotiate. So that's why we have scenarios where we are being underpaid, especially for the young guys that are not, will I say, being well brought and bred from a formal setting where they get to make things really look formal and corporate. How do we pick things up from there? I wrote it here. How do I convince my client beyond reasonable doubt? And we would like you to cite positive experiences and negative experiences. So we would actually know that this is real. Scenarios where you practically, literally ran at loss. So, so I think you're good to go now.
So it's a hard one. That's a hard question. And I think I have. Let me try to see if I can pull up a scenario where I've been the good scenario and a bad scenario. But before I get to pull that up, the power of negotiation. Okay. so let me tell you one thing. We are all trying to sell something. All of us are always trying to sell something. And guess what? The better you can make both parties feel that they won the negotiation, the better for you. So if you must enter a negotiation scenario, try to end it with a win-win. Do everything you can to make the other person feel like they're getting value for what you're about to give them. And also make sure you're covering your own bases too, because you want to be sure that you're getting paid for what you're offering. Okay? So there's a tricky balance between, getting that win-win situation, and his skill set he has enough bad scenarios. There are scenarios where the negotiation is just off, that it doesn't even cover your base expenses. And in that kind of situation, I just dropped the deal, and I'm like, no, I can't do it. It's not because I don't want to, but it's because if you look at it critically, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work for you. And it's fine. It's fine to drop or draw the line at that point, than go halfway into the deal and then just come back and be like, I'm sorry, I can't finish up, or I can't continue because I think I didn't get a good deal. So if you're not gonna finish up through, don't even start. It gets you your respect, it gives the other person their respect, and everybody goes their way. So there's one secret about negotiation. So let me tell you, so for everyone on this live session right now, or anyone that's going to watch it later, I'm going to tell you one secret. If you're going to quote for your services, don't use round numbers. Okay? So if you're going to quote for your services, don't use round numbers. Don't go 10,000 naira or 50,000 naira or 70,000 naira. Make it 72,525 naira. It's harder to negotiate those numbers than round numbers, and it's just the truth. So that's the secret I'm dropping for you guys, and let's stop it there.
Okay, so we're still waiting for
someone said, wow. Okay, so for the good experience and bad experience, let me see. Well, the good experience is walking out of a deal, adjusting your jacket and your tie and just being like, oh yeah, I think I made a good deal there. And of course, knowing that you have the capability to deliver that which you have promised to offer. So that is so important. A bad case. I remember a bad case. And usually bad negotiation cases mostly fall into bad scenarios. So Iskil is here on this live chat, and I hope you permit me to use our example of a project that I passed on to you. So I think the year was 2016 or thereabout. And this guy called me up and said, he wanted us to do a project for him. And when I looked at the deal, I was like, no way I'm gonna do this work. But I'm like, okay, now instead of turning this guy away, I can recommend him to someone who can spend less money to do the project than me. I'll probably spend more money because of my resources. Okay, so Iskil said yes. So I'm going to use this scenario. Thank you, Iskil. Thank you for being a very great guy. So what happened was I passed on the job to Iskil, and Iskil went ahead and did all the negotiations and everything, and he got the job. Guess what happened? Iskil didn't get his balance. and and then and then several months later, his skill came back to me and said, "Hey, see what's going on. I'm gonna sue this guy. I'm gonna take him to court. I'm gonna like, he failed to fulfill his part of the deal." And I just sat there and I'm like, oh my goodness, I wish that I knew that this was gonna happen. I saw that situation ahead because I felt like I was gonna spend too much money on the project. So it wasn't gonna make sense for me to take it on. But instead of sending this guy away, why don't I pass up the opportunity to one of my colleagues who probably wants the opportunity anyway? And that was exactly what I did in good faith, But then months later, that negotiation, which was very bad from inception, ended up being a bad project. So I think it's important for everyone at some point to know when to draw the line and be like, I'm not going to take this project, or I'm not going to be able to do this project for this reason. And Iskil, I mean, I'm sorry about that. I think Iskil eventually got his money anyway. I think he eventually got his money, but not without a lot of hassle. And I know it was a lot of hassle. Yeah, so that's the bad experience, and I hope everyone learns from knowing when to draw the line to say I'm not going to be able to work on this project. Yeah. Okay, so Iskil said I showed the man Pepe, but I still collected my money.
Okay, so guys,
so let me. I see a question. Someone said, "Do you read a lot?" I think we can take that question later at the end. Yeah.
Okay. So guys, you can keep your questions rolling in. Lots of questions. Okay, let me go to this one. Okay, this is not far from what you just spoke about now, but if you have a little to add to it, wisdom with presenting presentation drawings without being outsmarted, and yes, managing and convincing. Two questions together. How you can manage and convince elderly clients. The first one, wisdom with presenting presentation drawings without being outsmarted, and the other is managing and convincing elderly clients. Young guys like us, whenever we get out there and we meet those elderly men, there is this way they gauge us down.
The size.
Like, what do these guys really know? He's not experienced. The beards are not white. No, he doesn't have a car.
Like
does he have Okay, so Sam, you're good to go ahead now, sir.
So you said something about presenting drawings and clients not stealing them.
Exactly.
So I personally have a mantra about people saying someone stole my idea. And sorry, I was like, resolving a ticket on my PC. So someone says someone stole my idea, and I tell them, why don't you have so many ideas that people are tired of stealing, right? So ideas will always be stolen. Designs are gonna always be stolen. And guess what? You're not the only one thinking about or doing that thing in the same way. The competition is high. The competition is huge. And one thing I would tell people is, why don't you outthink or outpace or out-execute ideas faster than people can steal or reproduce? People that will pay for those values will find you. So that is about doing your presentation. So you might end up. I mean, there are some cases where you have to make sure you're fully paid before you issue the final drawings, for example. So giving sneak peeks and things like that, but it doesn't stop anyone really. Someone can still take your 3Ds and go to someone else and say, hey, produce this for me. So so people are concerned about their intellectual property. So my question is, why don't you feel that intellectual property so much that even when people steal from it, it's nothing, right? So that is important for people. So don't be afraid about people stealing your work or taking it out for someone. If you want to do business, do business. Say that this is what I'm going to offer you. This is when I'm going to get paid. This is what you're going to get when I get paid, or after I get paid, or before I get paid. Make your terms clear and then stick with it. And I mean, I wish you good luck. And what you said about older clients looking down at you or sizing you up, really, I think one of my mantras is to show and not to tell. So I don't want to tell you that I'm an architect, I have this experience, I have this, but I can't bring it to the table. I want to show you what I can do. So there will be moments where people are going to doubt your ability to deliver, you know. So I've been a lead architect on the project side, and you know, people walk up to me and be like, "Hey, are you in charge of that, or are you the guy we should talk to?" Or I've been in meeting rooms where someone said, "Okay, so when are we going to meet your boss?" And I'm like, "I'm the boss." so those situations are going to happen, but it's up to you to make sure that you're delivering on all these perceived values. You're going to be undermined, you're going to be looked down upon, but don't take offense. You know, just step up to the plate. People will respect you. Respect is not given, it's earned. You know, you don't get respect by telling people to respect you. You have to show how you're going to be respected. So you know, show your knowledge and be confident. And if you make errors, if you goof, make sure you own up to it. You know, step up to the plate and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I messed up, but I would like to do things better." It will make people respect you more and even refer you more, because then you're becoming a leader, so to speak. You know, they're saying that you have what it takes. It's not about how young you look. It's not about whether you don't have a car or not. But it's about what you're delivering, what you're bringing to the table. You have to show that you know your stuff. Yeah. So if you know your stuff, trust me, that respect is gonna come. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But then look at it this way. There's a difference between being confident and being pushy and being a jackass. You know, if you're confident, you know your stuff and you know when to stop. If you're pushy, people are going to withdraw. People are going to leave you. And if you're just being a jackass, they're going to be like, that's the way he does. I don't want to see him again. I don't want to interface with him again. I don't want to deal with him again. So that, you know, threading that fine line of being confident is very important on how people end up perceiving you, sizing you up, and paying you for the value that you're bringing.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, this question was inspired by thoughts of those that are just graduating or those that are in their finals in the university. And it goes like this: what are the strategies young graduates or recent graduates need to know? Sorry, what are the strategies they need in knowing what they need to know as regards their career pursuits? Or how do they need to know what they need to know?
How do they need to know what they need to know? Interesting. That's an interesting question. Okay, so I'm a strategy person, and if I have an objective, I think about what's the best strategy to find my objective. What's the best strategy to use to get that objective? So how do they need to know what they need to know? And I think the one winning strategy is being hungry, being hungry for knowledge, learning as if their life depends on it. Learning as if their life depends on it. So I'll give an example. There is a lot of things that I've learned from the Autodesk community that on a normal day, no workplace is going to teach you. No school is going to teach you. No office is going to teach you. No practice is going to teach you, right? So you know, joining online communities, joining Coursera or Udemy or Autodesk webinars. You know, these people are not teaching software or something. They're teaching trends that the software are needed for. So if you have a software skill and you don't know what to use it for, you have a problem. So learning about the trend is very important as much as learning about the skill itself. So I'll tell people, like, you know, go out there and seek out all of this knowledge. They're all right in our face. You know, the same MB that I need to use to stream a live video or a Wiz, you know, a WizKid show or something is the same megabytes that you're gonna need to download a course video. You know,
That's
So,
true.
so it's all about choices and what you want to use your time and resources for. And I would say learning from LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, Udemy. Your skills will open doors for you. Your skills will open doors for you, and knowing where to find what you need to learn is about the best strategy. So knowing where to find what to learn is a very good strategy to know what you need to know. So don't stay in the box and say, oh, I'm going to go to the office today and I'm going to learn how to do this. And if I don't learn anything else, I'm fine. Trust me, your weekend is a whole 48 hours that you can learn to do a whole lot of fantastic stuff. So just keep pushing the limits of what you need to learn, and I think the rest is just going to be easy. I mean, your skills will open doors for you, and then the rest is up to you for staying there. So better still. So just go out there and learn as much as you can. Yeah.
It's a lot, guys. For those who have questions relating to the business, we just quickly want to do a slight drift to tech. Now when we've read architect Hassan's profile, he is vast and is knowledgeable. And I think I was part of the BIM session where you did take us through the interface of virtual reality. Yeah, so precisely, a lot of us are thirsty. A lot of us are thirsty. We're eager. We're enthusiastic about knowing what the current trend in architecture really is in this dispensation. So, can you just tell us what architecture has evolved into? So, for those that are out there thinking that okay, it's just about the 3D renderings, maybe it's about the Lumion animations and the likes. It's high time they got to know what architecture really is now. So we don't know if you can just give us a little briefing on what architecture is all about in this present dispensation.
Okay, so the world is moving fast. Like when I say fast, really, really fast. And there are new buzzwords you might be hearing. You've heard AutoCAD, you've heard 3D renderings, you've heard different software, you've heard BIM, but there are even like new buzzwords after all of this that could be really daunting. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, virtual design construction, virtual reality, augmented reality, architectural programming, generative design, all of these crazy buzzwords. Things are going on out there. Like if you go to like these countries where they're really, really practicing architecture, you're just gonna be like, wow, right? But one thing I'll tell people is don't be fazed by all of these terms. People will say, oh, these are really complex, complicated stuff, and people want to shy away from learning difficult things, right? Don't shy away from learning difficult things. So rather, I'll say just embrace them and learn them for what they are. Interestingly, recently I stumbled on a couple of websites that offer a lot of this for like very little money or even for free. Trying to learn. So let me say, for example, you don't have to try to learn everything. If you want to learn artificial intelligence in architecture, just Google it. Just start reading about it. If you want to learn machine learning, Google it to read about it. If you want to learn augmented reality and architecture, just take them one by one. Because if you try to put your face on all of them, it's going to be too much. Like even myself, I'm taking just a little piece of that and then just focusing on it. So there is a lot of buzzwords going on there. You might get a lot of confusion or even intimidation, so to speak. You might become intimidated by all of them. But something is very clear that so like the analogy we talked about, like if one AutoCAD architect can replace 100 draftsmen, one BIM architect can replace 100 AutoCAD architects.
Yes.
Most likely, one generative design architect can replace 100 BIM architects. So use that analogy at the back of your mind and try to stay ahead of the curve. Stay ahead of the curve, because it's better for you to know something and then the opportunity comes and then you use it than for the opportunity to come and then you're scrambling to learn it. You're gonna get knocked off. Yeah. So don't wait until you have to be you have to get to a project where there's a certain requirement of the architecture industry that is specifically needed, and then you suddenly find out, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know it, and then they're like, okay, we're sorry, we can't take you. So stay ahead of the curve. If you hear a buzzword, Google it. If you hear there's a webinar going on somewhere, join it. Trust me, guys. Right now in the world, the people who are fast to adapt are the people who are going to succeed. So if you're still sticking on with your 2D AutoCAD lines, entering your commands, XL, offsets, extrude and things like that, trust me, you're behind the curve. You're behind the curve. Yeah. So stay ahead of the curve, and it's better to know things ahead, create stuff ahead of when the opportunity is going to come. Create applications for what you're doing. Create things for what you're learning. And you will find out that eventually when the opportunity comes, you're like, boom, I fit into this and I'm ready to run. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So guys, we have just about less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, just a couple more minutes. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if, so can you spare about, say, 10 minutes thereabouts for extra questions? I don't know.
That's fine. I got you.
Okay. So guys, your questions, I think before the final question I have here, if you have your questions, let them roll in. I'm trying to check. You have a question. Well, this is where your phone starts disappointing you.
So I saw a question earlier on. Let me see if I can pull it out. Someone says, "Don't leave us yet." Hey, Ade Bezalil, I'm not leaving yet. I'm still here. Okay. Someone said it means you can always watch the recording, so no pressure.
Okay, so
I'm about to. Yeah, did you find the question?
Yes. It said, do you read a lot? If yes, how much has books contributed to your competence and uniqueness? And do you mind recommending a few titles or authors?
So let's. So this is the informal part of this IG live. So there was something I saw, a couple of hours ago on the internet, and it says, this very great guy from Autodesk has more than 400 games, but he doesn't have time to play them. So I'm like that guy who has a lot of books and not so much time to read them, right? But yes, I read a whole lot. Let me see if there is something here. So I got books. So here, this one says writing for design professionals, right? A guide to writing successful proposals, portfolios, presentations, for architects, designers, and stuff like that. So I think this is a very good one if you can find it. Writing for design professionals. There's still more, but don't let go there. So this one says sell more faster. So this one says sell more faster by these guys. I got this book from Techstars. I don't think it's really, really readily available, but this one is readily available, and this one is to sell is human. So I have my notes. When I'm reading a book. I haven't finished this one, but to sell is human by Daniel H. Pink. Yeah. So yes, I read as much as I can.
5 seconds. Can we just quickly end and come back?
I'm super excited. I'm super excited. It's really been a lot. Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, sir. Okay, I think you're joining up already. Um, numbers.
Okay, people are getting back.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can just go ahead, sir.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, so I was just like talking about this other last book, To Sell
Okay.
is Human. It tells you how to convince people to buy what you have to offer. Like it tells you about every action of human beings is geared towards selling. It's geared towards trying to convince the next person to make a decision. So To Sell is Human is a very good book that almost can apply to everyone because as one of my mentors would say, even telling a small child to give you something in exchange for a biscuit is selling, right? So every one of us in one way or another we're engaged in selling, and I think that's something a lot of people don't realize. So the more you're able to master the art of selling, the better for you. Yeah. So that solves. Yeah. So I try to read as much as I can. I'm like the guy who has 400 games but no time to play. I have a lot of books and not so much time to read. But yeah, I read a lot of ebooks. I have like a huge library of books, and those are three that you can start with. And maybe someday I might write a blog post on Chronos Studios about some books that can get people started. If I end up doing that, I will share the link with you.
All right, that'll be great, sir. Okay, yeah, someone earlier asked that, oh, you started up quite early. I'm trying to rephrase the question now. I'm paraphrasing. You said you started up quite early. That what exactly did you do differently that didn't make you thrive?
Well, I would say um, I mean, you know, the jokes about motivational speakers, you know, I started a fish farm with only one fish, and now I have a huge farm. Or I started a poultry farm with only one egg, kind of motivation speaker stuff. But so that's the joke. But I would say that what I probably did was just not giving up, actually, because a lot of times you're gonna doubt yourself. You're gonna, like, you know, say, can I really do this? Or do I think people will, what will people think about this? Things like that, self-doubt and just not being sure. So you're gonna end up in very tough situations a lot of times that you will want to, like, quit and say, hell no, I'm not gonna do this anymore. So I think, you know, what they really say about you don't have a success story if you gave up is that's just it. Henry Google said persistence. So just do it. Just, you know, there was okay, so let me make you guys laugh.
Okay.
There was one creative architect event that we did 2015, right? Nobody showed up. Nobody showed up on the day of the event.
Wow.
And what we realized was because we told people that we're going to do it online, and then everybody just stayed back at home. And they're like, oh, well, I can watch it from the comfort of my house. But in the real sense, we wanted people to want to come and interact. So that purpose was defeated. And that day, I was so downtrodden. I was so disappointed. But the show still had to go on. You know,
Wow.
the show still had to go on because we just still had to do what we had to do. You know, so being persistent sometimes is just the only thing you have to do. just keep going, adjust things, make things better, try to improve on them, but don't give up, because
Wow.
there's going to be a lot of situations where you want to give up, disappointed, broke and jobless and stuff, but yeah, just keep going. Yeah. So that is I started a poultry farm with a feather motivation speaker joke.
No, no, sir. I really think it's really important. We see the other side of the story, because when people appreciate creative architects and we're like, wow, oh, creative. You see, there are some downsides.
Oh yeah.
Understand? There are some
Oh yeah.
downsides. There are some not so good experiences that one had in the
Yeah.
past. You don't just
Absolutely.
want to think about moments like that. Wow.
And guess what? There's this popular picture that I have that I was standing behind a camera and a computer because I was setting the live stream. And guess what happened to the live stream eventually? It had no audio. So it was a huge fail back to back. It was a huge fail back to back. First of all, people didn't show up. Second of all, the live stream didn't have an audio. So it was technically a fail. So the hall was half filled, and we had to go, hey, just don't show people that people didn't show up because people didn't show up. So yeah, but I can guarantee you, on the flip side, today, if we announced that there was going to be a creative architect event, in 24 hours, the tickets are going to be sold out.
Exactly.
So yeah, so not if we had given up then we won't be able to say what we're saying today. So yeah, so not giving up is very important. Yeah.
Wow, it's a lot to learn, sincerely. Okay, yeah, I think Fahid made mention of okay, where do you see the practice of architecture headed generally in Nigeria? I think that was the question he asked.
I think we kind of like answered that earlier on, but if I'm going to share if I'm going to shed some light more on it, I'll say that it's tough, simply because the way the Nigerian system works, it's a lot of politics. The guys who get the big projects on merit are very few, but it's possible. And I think that if as individuals or as companies or corporate bodies, we continue to push the limits of what we're capable of, then I think someday those opportunities to make our mark will come. That opportunity to have your name as Zaha Hadid, or to have your name as the FMAs, the ACCLs of Nigeria, the opportunities are going to come. So yeah, so the what I would say is, being or doing the practice the way it's supposed to be done will eventually get you to that point where we will, as a country, respect the profession again, and we'll have major significant landmark projects. Half of the problem is that Nigerians don't believe in Nigeria. So Nigerians don't believe that a Nigerian architect can make a shopping mall design that I want. Right? But as a Nigerian architect, if you position yourself in that place where you definitely can do it, someday someone is going to come and give you that opportunity. And then from one opportunity to another opportunity to another opportunity, and then the landscape changes. So yeah, it still boils down to us, all of us as Nigerians looking back inside and saying, can Nigerians do this? Can a Nigerian architect design my home because I'm a billionaire, or I have to find an Italian architect or a German architect or a British architect or something? So that's that's it. If we start to look inside, I think a lot of Nigerians are going to get the opportunity to become the Zaha Hadids that they're supposed to become.
Wow, thank you so much. I think this will be the last question. I can't find any other question. Wow, it's really been an amazing side. It's all been on point, apt. Everything has been direct and sharp, sincerely.
Thanks. Glad we kept it simple. Yeah.
Okay, the final question is, what of advice as regards various areas of specialization and how well to build on one's strengths, just generally, just whatever advice you have for us. Yes, you've told us that we need to be, persistent. We need to believe in ourselves. Yes, just randomly, whatever it is you have, just as you are, as you are led by the Spirit.
Okay, so you said something about specialization, and there are two sides. There's two sides to it. There is specialization. There's diversification, and specialization requires less resources. Diversification requires more resources. And one advice I would wish for people is that if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And going together could mean that you're spreading your base first before digging deep. If you're going alone, you can just dive into it and go deep. But then there are pros and cons to it. But in my personal opinion, again, this is an IG live session, and this is personal opinion. No fact. I would tell people that it's better that they gain a lot of knowledge, a wide knowledge, and then you are going to be in a position to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life. But if you focus on only one thing and just one little thing, I want to design chairs, it's fine. It's fine. But what it means is that you better want to do that for the rest of your life, because if you go in there so deep, it's going to be hard to start to learn new stuff.
That's true.
You know what they say, like you can't teach old dogs new tricks. So it's very good for an average person, for people to spread their knowledge wide a little bit, and then when they decide what they want to do, they start to dig from and start borrowing from all of that knowledge. And start digging. So so it's important to gain some wide knowledge and then dig deep. But if you want to also go on just one thing and then dive deep into it, it's fine. But you better make sure that it's something you want to do for the rest of your life, so to speak. Yeah.
Wow. It's really been a lot. Thank you so much, sir. I hope you don't invite again if you don't mind, whenever you're free, sir.
Absolutely. So let me just say again that I believe and I think that you guys are doing absolutely amazing good stuff in getting to, get people to come together to have conversations, learn, and I think it's going to go really, really fast. So you have my support any day and any time.
Thank you so much.
100%. I'm gonna step in for you guys. I'm gonna jump in with you guys. Let me know what you need. If I tell people, if I can't do it, I know someone who can do it.
That's good.
Trust me on that. If I can't do it, I know someone who can do it. Yeah. So come knocking anytime.
Thank you so much, sir. We really don't consider this a right. We consider it a rare privilege, sincerely. A lot of the guys on the team, they've all been looking at it and, wow, Architect Hassan is coming. I can't wait to hear him speak. His amazing sense of humor, and it has really been a yes.
I was with Anchor in Dubai, and we went shopping.
Okay.
And I'm sure that he didn't know there was this other side of me that was different from the suit and tie and stuff. We had a lot of fun. So I'm really excited to be with you guys again. I'm very free and open-minded. So you can reach out. You can reach out anytime.
All right, so guys out there, thank you so much for creating our time to be a part of this webinar session. It's really been amazing with you guys, and we'll be posting the videos on our YouTube link. Make sure you get to follow Official Poke on YouTube, subscribe, and we are keen on changing the perception of architecture in Nigeria. Nigerian architects can be great, yes. Don't look down upon yourself. I strongly believe personally that what makes you an architect, what qualifies you an architect in Nigeria can also qualify you as an architect elsewhere around the world. It's just about you believing in itself. It's about you believing in yourself. So thank you so much for creating out time to be a part of this. So we really do appreciate this. We really do appreciate it. I wish you could see my heart literally. I'm
happy too. I'm excited too. And I want to say, I just want to send a big shout out to everyone who dropped into the live session. I saw like a lot of people that I know. I don't want to mention names, but absolutely fantastic, great people joining in. I just want to say a big thank you for honoring the invitation to join, and I'm looking forward to connecting with anyone. My DMs are open. I don't always check my DMs, but I will always respond at least. So if anyone still has questions, they can push them up, and then we can always have a conversation about things later.
Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Once again, it's time to sign out. I wish we had more time, but we have to call it.
Me too.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Guys, bye.
Take care. Yeah, bye.